చూడండి సార్, చైర్ మీద డిమాండ్ చేస్తాను.
With the permission of my Lord, the Honorable the Chief Justice, I now declare that all the Honorable Judges have assembled. With the permission of my Lord, the Honorable the Chief Justice, I request your Lordship to commence your Lordship's speech.
My esteemed brother Justice Somayajulu ji, my esteemed sister and brother judges, Shrimati K. Vijayalakshmi, former judge of this court, Shri Justice M. Gangarao, former judge of this court, Learned Advocate General Shri S. Sri Ram, President AP High Court Bar Association, Shri K. Janki Rami Reddy, Chairman Bar Council of Andhra Pradesh, Shri Ganta Rama Rao, Additional Advocate General Mr. P. Sudhakara Reddy, Deputy Solicitor General Mr. N. Harinath, Public Prosecutor Mr. Y. Nagireddy, Law Officers, learned senior advocates and members of the bar, members of the judicial fraternity, officers of the registry, revered Madam Mrs. Sharvani and other family members of Justice Somayajulu, ladies and gentlemen. We have all assembled here to bid adieu to our esteemed brother Justice Somayajulu as he is demitting office today. Justice Somayajulu was born on 26th of September 61 in an illustrious family of lawyers and is a fourth generation lawyer. His father, late Shri D.V.S. Rao, was a third generation of a family of lawyers and a distinguished lawyer at Visakhapatnam who held positions as Chairman Bar Council of India, Mayor of Visakhapatnam, President Andhra Pradesh Cricket Association. Justice Somayajulu received his early education at Visakhapatnam. He pursued his BCom at Dr. L.B. College at Visakhapatnam and did his law from Andhra University at Visakhapatnam. He was enrolled as an advocate on the rolls of the Bar Council of Andhra Pradesh and practiced law at Visakhapatnam besides appearing before various Mofassil courts and dealt with a variety of cases. His specialization being civil, commercial and arbitration matters. He had appeared in arbitrations all over India and abroad as well. He was the president of the Andhra Cricket Association, member of the legal committee of the Board of Cricket Control, BCCI, president of Bar Association Visakhapatnam, as also the Voltaire Club at Visakhapatnam. He has been a member, General Counsel, Executive Council, and also a member of the Infrastructure Monitoring and Development Committee of Damodaram Sanjeevaya National Law University, Visakhapatnam. Justice Somayajulu is an avid cricketer who participated in multiple tournaments, a hobby which he pursued beyond his schooling days. He could make a mark in the legal profession with his good understanding of law, amiable manners, and oratory skills. His hard work and professional competence established him well in the profession and earned him a large clientele. He was able to justify his engagement in every case in which he appeared in the courts of law. His work was well recognized, and considering his talent and potential, he was appointed as a judge of the High Court of Judicature at Hyderabad for the state of Telangana and the state of Andhra Pradesh, and was sworn in on 21st of September 2017. He is the first lawyer from a Mufassil bar in Andhra Pradesh who has been elevated as a judge of a high court. In a function organized in connection with the inauguration of a 10-court complex in Vishakhapatnam yesterday, where Justice Somayajulu was also invited, one could see the respect, the regard, and the affection which the bar members have for Brother Somayajulu. Needless to say that what gave away the feelings of the bar members was not just the thunderous applause which Justice Somayajulu got even before he could start speaking at the function, but even later at the conclusion of the program when he was mobbed by the members of the bar. During my short association with Brother Justice Somayajulu for about 2 months, I had the advantage of receiving his valuable inputs and views on important issues on administrative side. He possesses humility, politeness, wisdom, and quick understanding, the intrinsic qualities of a good judge. Family legacy reflects in his persona, and he has successfully carried it forward and has even bettered it in many respects. The contributions made by the family of Justice Somayajulu from generation to generation would certainly not rest only with him, as his son, being the 5th generation, has already joined the profession to carry forward the mantle. As a judge of the High Court of Judicature at Hyderabad and the High Court of Andhra Pradesh, Justice Somayajulu has disposed of a large number of cases, and while doing so, he has shown his dexterity and legal acumen in all branches of law. Since his taking over as a judge, he has dealt with many sensitive cases with considerable ease. The judgments rendered by him demonstrate compassion and empathy. His rich experience and knowledge has contributed a lot to the development of law, and the judgments rendered by him would continue to guide the legal fraternity in future. Now that Justice Somayajulu is hanging his robes, all of us will be missing his smile, his warm and vibrant presence, and his good company. Our loss would, however, be certainly a gain for his mother, wife, and children, with whom he would be able to spend more time, which they had otherwise been deprived of because of Justice Somayajulu's commitment to serve the cause of justice. On behalf of all the judges of this court, I wish Justice Somayajulu good health and prosperity, and wish him success for all his future endeavors.
With the permission of my Lord, the Honorable the Chief Justice, I request the Land Advocate General, High Court of Andhra Pradesh, to deliver his speech on behalf of legal fraternity.
My Lords, the Honorable the Chief Justice, Honorable Sri Justice Somayajulu, Honorable Judges, Justice K. Vijayalakshmi, Justice M. Gangarao, former judges of this court, family members of Justice Somayajulu, family members of Honorable Judges, President Bar Association, Chairman Bar Council, Deputy Solicitor General, Public Prosecutor, Senior Counsel, Law Officers, Officers of Registry, and friends. Before I knew this DV, I knew another. And he and I were only 2 streets apart in a city in Hyderabad. He was Mr. D.V.S. the former Advocate General of the state, with whom I had the fortune of being associated in a few matters and working under him when he was the Advocate General. It was in his house that I met the big man, Mr. D.V.S. They were seated over the breakfast table, and I was summoned over for a discussion, and I was perhaps 7 or 10 years into the bar. And both the acknowledged greats of the profession by then were indulging a 7-year-old lawyer into a conversation on the disjunctive or the conjunctive expression in AP Universities Act. And then the discussion went on for some time. It is there I noticed the remarkable modesty and humility and almost the self-effacing candor and demeanor of big men. The DV family is known as the first family in Visakhapatnam so far as law is concerned. There are other interests I will come to in the informal chat that we will have a little later. So when one talks of the career's exploits in this profession, and especially if you're drawn from the civil law background or the arbitration background, the question is, did you work with or did you appear against this family? Well, I had worked with a cousin of that family, and I had known the present person under discussion a little more closely for a very brief time before his elevation. And it was on one of his visits to Hyderabad to appear in the first court. And he and I happened to have a discussion on the matter that he was to argue, and he was open to a discussion, and he was being assisted by one of the colleagues of Mr. Sitaram Murthy's, and he came across as somebody that could lucidly understand the intricacies of public law. The emphasis is on public law because I happened to read a recent interview of his where he carries the mantle or the acknowledged identity of his as belonging to a small town with a lot of pride, while acknowledging that he is the first lawyer primarily practicing in Mufassil courts to be made judge of this court. He indicates very clearly as to the advantages of being a Mufassil lawyer. He would say the empathy for a cause, the near default ability to deep dive into facts, and the implications of thinking through a matter when it reaches appellate courts is peculiar to lawyers that practice in the Mufassil courts, and he manifested each one of those areas of his experience while serving as a judge of this court. Public law and the High Court can be a little intimidating for lawyers drawn from Mufassil courts, say a few colleagues of mine. But here was a man with a pedigree of having rubbed shoulders with a big great man himself. But by the time he moved to the ramparts of this court, he had rubbed shoulders with the high and mighty, perhaps on the winning side always, and if not, the gracious loser that he could have been and he has always been, of which we don't have much data. So I traveled to Visakhapatnam once or twice, and the first question that comes from anybody drawn from the bar is, do you know Mr. Somayajulu? Now, I don't exactly know him as a person, but I have heard of him as how I would introduce my being aware and my being in the mainstream of the profession, because I know the embarrassment I would suffer if I go to Vizag and say that I wouldn't know this man that everybody else swears their identity to. The man of many forms, the man of many interests, they would say. Cricket is one of them, and the offices that he has held and the positions he has lent the dignity and honor to speak to the greatness of being rooted in a tradition of a family that is drawn to this profession. If you belong to a DV surname, scrutiny follows you. If you belong to a family of lawyers, and if you have been the go-to lawyer to most of the arbitration lawyers in the country and the state, the scrutiny is even bigger. And if you have to match a bigger name, what a thing to survive. But here is a man who carved a niche of his own, while not getting away, which is impossible, from the legacy of Mr. D.V.S. but holding his own in the light of surging scrutiny of the bar, in the light of being spoken to and spoken about when you enter into the ramparts of the High Court from the Mufassil Bar. He acquitted himself very well. The charm, the boyish smile, and many other attributes which can cause a few hearts aflutter, he ensured did not get lost in the acrimony that can happen at the bar and in the pressure of the judicial work that he has to discharge. His Lordship and I have been neighbors next door. I offered once or twice a cup of coffee, and a stickler to a certain form of propriety as he was, after the second cup of coffee, he walked over to the dividing wall dividing both the houses and said, "It is not to say anything about your coffee, but then I think I had enough. It doesn't look nice." I took my hats off to that man on that day. To say no to a Tamil Iyer coffee on the ground of propriety, you should at least belong to D.V.S. family, if not to Vizag. And then I thought this is all a matter of a person being nice to you. Those were COVID days and we were appearing virtually. And Mr. Mohan Reddy and I were on opposite sides, and it was a hotly contested case. Then he would chide me virtually saying, "Mr. Advocate General, you are virtual, but I can hear you across my wall." And he tells Mr. Mohan Reddy that I have a very noisy neighbor. So after that, I ensured that my family members speak only in whispers, not because walls have ears, but because there is a judge on the other side of the wall. I have had my experiences in his court. I have had my losses. I have had my victories. And what I have come across in his judicial disposition is his patience to perhaps hear out the last dimension of the most remote implication of law. And that can happen only if you're drawn from that particular mindset where curiosity is not killed by either your attainments or your sense of being a little superior to the mortals that appear across the aisle in the bar, so to say. The fifth generation lawyer is in the court, and I asked him if he is now ready to come and practice here, because as a part of a continuing rich tradition, I was told he was banished to Visakhapatnam until the time the learned judge retires. It is yet another indication of how Justice Somayajulu carried himself. So it is very difficult to sustain the interests of the family as also the progress of the next generation if you have to live the kind of life that you have lived, sir. I have ceased to be a neighbor, not because you were complaining, but because I had to go to yet another place that meets my purse and also the requirement. One major aspect of his daily life was his being a fitness freak. I have seen him walk about 12,000, 13,000 steps within the colony's work, and I am told they are having to relay the roads because he had damaged them by his sheer walking day after day, night after night in the company of a few people. He is a man that would enjoy a lighter moment, enjoy a few good things to life, enjoy a game of cricket, can chat, can gossip. We are going to miss all of this. So for whatever I have known and whatever is left over is for another day. Here I wish on behalf of the fraternity a wonderful and a glorious remainder of the life you have, the interest that you pursue, and hope you dot the arbitration circuit that you had to take a reprieve from for the last 6 years in order to benefit the people, the litigant, and the lawyer community at large. I wish you and your family all the very best for all times to come.
With the permission of my Lord, the Honorable the Chief Justice, I request the Land President of the Bar Association, High Court of Andhra Pradesh, to deliver his speech on behalf of legal fraternity.
My Lord, the Honorable Chief Justice Sri Dhanraj Singh Thakur, Honorable Justice Somayajulu garu, Honorable Judges of this court, Justice Vijayalakshmi garu, Justice Gangarao garu, family members of Justice Somayajulu garu, Land Advocate General, Honorable Chairman Bar Council of AP, Land Public Prosecutor, Land Deputy Solicitor General, law officers of the state, land senior advocates, colleague advocates and friends. Today we have gathered here to bid a fond farewell to Honorable Justice D.V.S. Somayajulu garu as he gracefully embarks on the journey of retirement. Justice D.V.S. Somayajulu garu was born on 26 September 1961 into a family of lawyers. His father, late D.V. Subbarao, was a renowned advocate of Visakhapatnam and a prominent personality in the legal arena and held esteemed positions. Justice D.V.S. Somayajulu garu pursued his early education in Visakhapatnam, then BCom degree at Dr. L.B. College, Visakhapatnam, and a Bachelor of Law degree from Andhra University, and enrolled as an advocate in the roles of the Bar Council of Andhra Pradesh in the year 1985 and began his legal practice at Visakhapatnam. Throughout his career, Justice D.V.S. Somayajulu garu handled a wide spectrum of cases, specializing in civil, commercial, and arbitration matters. He appeared for numerous public sector undertakings, private companies, and banks also. Not only Justice Somayajulu, a prominent personality in the legal sphere, but also ventured into the world of sports. His role as the president of Andhra Cricket Association and his membership in the legal committee of the Board of Cricket Control of India, that is BCCI, showcased his multifaceted talents. Moreover, he took on leadership roles as the president of the Bar Association Visakhapatnam and the Volunteer Club Visakhapatnam. His contributions extended to the cultural realm as well, as he served as a general trustee to the Visakha Music and Dance Academy, Mrs. Avian College, and the Public Library Visakhapatnam. His dedication to social causes was further recognized when he was nominated as a Swachh Bharat Ambassador for Visakhapatnam. Justice Somayajulu was appointed as Judge of the High Court for the state of Telangana and state of Andhra Pradesh on 21/9/2017. He is the first advocate from a Mafshal Bar of Andhra Pradesh who was directly elevated as Judge of High Court. My Lord delivered number of landmark judgments in the public concern. One of the notable judgment is the Registrar versus Velapula Deepthi, where my Lord made a pivotal ruling regarding the powers of the SC Commission. My Lord emphasized that SC Commission does not possess the authority to issue directions related to promotions and other related matters. Another remarkable judgment, that is Tatireni Venkata Subbarao versus Kodali Vijayalakshmi Devi. My Lord laid a legal principle that an insufficiently stamped document cannot be received in evidence for any purpose, whether main or collateral. My Lord further emphasized that if such a document is presented before the court, it is the duty of the court to follow the procedure under the Stamp Act, impound the document, and ensure that the requisite stamp duty is paid. My Lord conducted court proceedings in a very cordial atmosphere, more particularly in encouraging the junior advocates and interaction with the counsels during the course of court proceedings. As we stand on the cups of bidding farewell to Mr. Somayajulu, we acknowledge his exceptional contributions to the legal profession, his tireless efforts in upholding the rule of law, and his unwavering commitment to justice. His legacy will continue to inspire generations of legal practitioners. Justice Somayajulu's legacy is carried forward by his son, Mr. D. Ketan, who is also chosen the path of advocacy. On behalf of the Andhra Pradesh High Court Advocates Association, I extend our heartfelt gratitude to Justice Somayajulu for his remarkable service and wish him a fulfilling and joyous retirement. May this new chapter in his life be bright and prosperous as his legal career has been. Thank you, sir.
With the permission of my Lord, the Honorable the Chief Justice, I request the Land Chairman, Bar Council for the State of Andhra Pradesh to deliver his speech on behalf of legal fraternity.
The Honorable Chief Justice, Justice D.V.S. Singh Thakur ji, Justice Somayajulu garu, Honorable Judges and family members of Justice Somayajulu and Honorable Judges, Land Advocate General Sri Ram, my good friend, President of the Association Janaki Ram Reddy, Deputy Solicitor General Harnath, Member Bar Council and Public Prosecutor Nagareddy, and my other colleagues in the Bar Council, and other officers, law officers, senior advocates, advocate friends, registrars and staff of the High Court, ladies and gentlemen, Justice Somayajulu garu, though simultaneously we are there in law studies at Visakhapatnam, I was not well acquainted with Justice Somayajulu garu during that study period. I have completed the law in 1984 and enrolled in 1984. Justice Somayajulu garu completed in 85 and enrolled in 1985. But after I become member of the Bar Council in 1996, I came in acquaintance with Sri D.V.S. garu, who was the member Bar Council and also member of Bar Council of India at that time. He is a versatile personality, a giant in the legal field, and but very humble. We learned so many things with our association with him. Even when he was functioning as the chairman of the Bar Council of India, he is so humble. Whenever we meet, after completion of the meeting, when he is leaving the meeting, he made it a point, wish each one of us who are there, that is very humble man, and maybe legacy. He is not only the professional, but also become a mayor of the Visakhapatnam, and also he was the president of the AP Cricket Association. Justice Somayajulu garu inherited the profession and successful in the profession, and on deputation to the judiciary for some time, again coming back to the profession. I am sure that he will come, and also I wish that he complete other fields, succeed in other fields to his father. And I, as a first judge from the official court, no doubt by that time we know his thoroughness as an advocate in the official court, in the civil and other fields. But it is amazing experience having come from the official courts. His performance on the in the writ jurisdiction, like as if he is a serious practitioner here, he has successfully adjudicated on all the fields, in even under the exercising the jurisdiction 226. And I wish that again, after coming back, playing the role of as a professional, bring again glory to this profession, because still he will be on the rolls of the Bar Council of Andhra Pradesh. I wish a successful, peaceful life in future, and he will be celebrating tomorrow his birthday in free and because I know his nature, and I am sure that he will be again come back in Visakhapatnam, as always used to call him there, Somu or Somi, with his friends. Yes, I wish him a good future, retired, life and entering into different fields. Thank you.
With the permission of my Lord, the Honorable the Chief Justice, I request the Land Deputy Solicitor General, High Court of Andhra Pradesh, to deliver his speech on behalf of legal fraternity.
My Lord, the Honorable Chief Justice, My Lord Justice Somayajulu, judges of this Honorable Court, family members of the learned judges, learned Advocate General, President of the Bar Association, Chairman Bar Council, Public Prosecutor, learned senior advocates, standing counsel of the central government and state governments, court officers. My Lord, today is not a great day for the bar, as from tomorrow we will be missing one of our favorite judges on the bench. Any counsel appearing before my Lord's court would definitely come out with a smiling face. He goes inside the court with a smiling face and comes out with a smiling face, irrespective of the outcome of the case and the outcome of the judgment. The immaculate quality which my Lords has in handling matters and ensuring the counsels perform well in the court, guiding them, the junior counsels, the bar will definitely miss this quality from tomorrow onwards. After having illustrious career as an advocate and subsequently equally illustrious career as a judge of this court, my Lord will be free from tomorrow to spare his valuable time to judiciary in the other way. At this juncture, I wish and pray the Almighty to grant all the good health and well-being for my Lord Justice Somayajulu. Jai Hind.
With the permission of my Lord, the Honorable the Chief Justice, I request Honorable Sri Justice D.V.S.S. Somayajulu Garu to give reply.
The Honorable Chief Justice, Sri D.V.S. Singh Thakur Garu, brother and sister judges, my noisy neighbor, Sri Sriram Garu, admittedly noisy neighbor, the Advocate General, Sri Sriram, Sri Janakaram Reddy Garu, the President of the Bar Association, Ganta Ramarao Garu, Chairman AP Bar Council, Sri Harnath, Deputy Solicitor General, and Sri Nagareddy Garu. Mr. Ganta Ramarao, you did not see me in the law college because I was hardly there. I was learning the lessons of life elsewhere. I had the good fortune of being sworn in by one of the legendary judges of the AP High Court, Sri Ramesh Ranganathan Garu, on the 21st of September 1997. That is where my good fortune started, according to me. To be blessed and to be inducted into this noble profession or noble cause by a man no less than Ramesh Ranganathan has shaped the way I held myself in the future in the court. It was my good fortune that he sworn me in. Soon thereafter, Justice Suresh Keth, with whom I was on the bench, within the first 20 days, he encouraged me to write judgments. In his typical style, Justice Keth said, "Kya hota hai? Galati hota hai. Main hu na?" And that was the faith that he reposed in me. I also owe a debt of gratitude to Justice C.V. Nagajan Reddy Garu for installing in me the need for deep preparation in the case and to have the facts on my fingertips. To these two great judges, I owe a eternal debt of gratitude. I also want to place on record my profound thanks to the first acting Chief Justice, Sri Praveen Kumar Garu, because in the first speech that he gave in the combined High Court, after we all assembled in what is now with the Raj Bhavan, he mentioned the fact that in the legal history of the state of Andhra Pradesh, one of the major events was the election of my father as the chairman of the Bar Council of India. By then, he was long departed. The fact that Sri Praveen recognized the fact filled me with a lot of joy, and this is something I will always recall for the rest of my life. To my neighbor and not so noisy neighbor, Sri Seshasai Garu, I also owe a little debt of gratitude. whenever we used to travel in the car, since I was new to the High Court, I used to pose a question or two. Of course, I had to eat the breakfast at his house, forced to eat breakfast at his house before I could get an answer. But he always helped me on the way and showed me the way out of certain tricky situations and the little nuances that I had to learn for the discharge of my duty as a judge. Last but not the least, I owe a little debt of gratitude also to my good friend, Justice Raghunandan Rao. He has been my sounding board for the last few months, and he has helped me out of a couple of tricky situations where he showed me a path. And if today I am sitting before you and saying that I have discharged my duties to the best of my ability, I owe a debt of gratitude to all these learned judges who are with me today. As far as the Chief Justices of this court are concerned, I was doubly lucky. All of them treated me with a lot of love and affection. Every one of the Chief Justices who presided over the court always had a helping hand for me, and that is what I think made me what I am today. Justice Prashant Mishra gave me a lot of scope to learn. Almost for 6 to 8 months, I was on the bench with him. And I will always recall my days on the bench with Justice Prashant Mishra ji. As far as the current Chief Justice is concerned, yes, 2 days ago I was saying something very similar in Vizag. In 2016, Justice T.S. Thakur, as the Chief Justice of India, was presiding over a meeting in Visakhapatnam. And he said it is time somebody from the district bar had on the High Court bench. In 2023, when I am leaving this bench, it is Justice D.V.S. Thakur who is sending me away. It is also a coincidence that Justice Jyotirmayi was there on that day, and she is here today. I don't know where my sister is. She is there. Yes, she has got a thumbs up also. So therefore, it is a matter of pride that I could be associated with such lovely people, such lovely Chief Justices, and they made it all possible. Nothing that I did merits the good words that were expressed so far, but for the cooperation I have received from the learned counsels of this bar. Every one of them, I sincerely believe a good judgment is a product of good advocacy. Whatever we may say, or however high the pedestal we occupy, however intellectually we pretend to be, ultimately a good judgment is a product of good advocacy. And for this, if there is a judgment like the learned Solicitor General said or the President of the Bar said that is good, it is because of good advocacy. And I am really deeply grateful to the members of the Bar Association for welcoming me in. I tried my best. I mean, literally and figuratively, I have a big pair of shoes, big feet. So if I stepped on a few toes, I beg your forgiveness. It was never intentional. It's just that my endeavor or my zeal to render justice, I may have stepped on a few toes. The learned Advocate General is smiling very politely. And I know why, to an extent. But still, it was never intentional. Maybe. I mean, to err is human, and from your side to forgive, I think, is divine, and I hope you will forgive me. I always keep saying this, that there is a power of review in the Supreme Court indicates that we can make mistakes, and we have a right to make mistakes because it will always be corrected. And I am grateful to the members of the bar for helping me on the way. And Mr. Advocate General, personally, thank you for raising the bar. Thank you for raising the standards. Thank you for making the argument such a pleasure to listen to. I come, as you said, from a family of lawyers. The names that I heard were Narsaraj Garu, Purnaya Garu, Veerabhadraya Garu, Y.V. Suryanarayan Garu, Koka Srinivasamurthy Garu, Padmanabha Reddy Garu, Venkat Reddy Garu, Ramchandra Reddy Garu. These are the names I grew up listening to. These are the stalwarts of the AP bar whose names were mentioned on a daily basis in my house. This was the lineage that the AP bar has. This is the bar that traces its history to the gate Koka Subbarao, to Chinnappa Reddy Garu, to Jagannatha Rao Garu. These are the stalwarts who made in this bar what it is. And I am deeply beholden to each and every one of you for treating me with so much of kindness, for allowing me to make mistakes, for correcting me on the way, particularly when I did some mistakes on the criminal side. Mr. Posani is here. He and his juniors gently guided me on the right path. These are all the things that I will recollect. These are all the things that I would always cherish. And today is particularly important for me for more than one reason. Two people who never appeared in my court are here in the very same courtroom sharing with me. My distinguished cousin, Sri D.V.S.S, the former Advocate General of the state, who came in specially for this function, and Shitala Dhananjaya, Senior Counsel, former President of the AP High Court Bar Association. Thank you so much, both of you, for coming. For today, I don't think there is not before me will not apply. And I'm glad you both are here today. And I'm glad I'm sharing the courtroom with you. To the members of the District Registry, an eternal debt of gratitude. You always treated me like a brother. Whenever I had trouble, you sorted it out. Whenever you had any issues, you always came. One of the finest gifts that I've ever received in my life was given to me today. A portrait painted by an outstanding artist. Only difficulty is it is so big that I will build a bigger house. Hopefully my fiscal fortunes will improve in the future and I will be able to do that. The staff of the High Court, today so many of them came and met me. It was so overwhelming for me, such a matter of joy that so many of them felt that I had done something useful. I am deeply and eternally grateful to you. And before I stop, I want to acknowledge my personal staff. As all of you said, my wife had to stay back in Visakhapatnam to look after my son, and she was traveling on and off. I owe a particular debt of gratitude to my staff, and I hope you'll bear with me when I read out their names in particular to express my gratitude. To my Srinivas, my personal secretary, to Lakshmi Pavani, Manikyamagaru, my court officer, who was, and most of you know, a dictator in the court. See, Dairya, my law clerk, D. Hanumantrao, my driver, a true Hanumantudu to me, Sri B. Appalaraju, Srinivas, Salanna, Ellamma, my cook Anuradha, Lakshmi Tirumala, and to my two personal security officers, Sagar Babu and Buchaya. Lastly, to Kaneshwar Rao, to my former personal secretary, Sachinarayana, who came in all the way from Hyderabad, to Ramakrishna, my court officer at Hyderabad, and also Surendranath, who joined me as an attendant in Hyderabad and who is here today amongst you. And last but not the least, my law clerk, Krishna Kaushik, who is working now and she is also here. I am deeply grateful to all of you for the honor that you have bestowed to me. Today will be a day I will cherish and recall for the rest of my life. For all of us, the High Court was a temple of justice and we used to see it from afar, to be a part of it, to be acknowledged as somebody who has contributed is something that I will never ever forget. I am deeply beholden to you. I and my family will always remember the love and affection that you've given to us. Thank you so much. It was an honor and a pleasure.
With the permission of my Lord, the Honorable the Chief Justice, I declare that proceedings are concluded.